Eddie Howe breaks silence on Alexander Isak transfer request. After Liverpool bid football fans, we need to talk about what just happened at Newcastle United. Eddie Howe has finally broken his silence on the massive transfer storm surrounding Alexander Isak. But here's the twist. Instead of shutting down the rumors once and for all, his comments have only made things 10 times more dramatic. Liverpool have already made their move. Whispers of a transfer request won't go away, and Newcastle supporters are starting to fear the worst. So the question is, did Isak actually ask to leave? Or is Eddie Howe playing a clever mind game to keep rivals guessing? Stick with me, because in this video we're going to break down Howe's exact words, analyze what they really mean, look at why Liverpool are so desperate to get Isak, and most importantly, what this could mean for Newcastle's entire season. Trust me, you don't want to miss the details here. And before we dive in, let me know in the comments right now. Newcastle fans, do you believe Isak stays loyal, or are we about to witness the biggest exit since Andy Carroll's shock move years ago? Liverpool fans, would you take Isak over Darwin Núñez or Jota right now? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button if you love transfer drama, and let's get into the full story. So, let's start with what actually happened. Eddie Howe sat down for his first press conference of the new season at the Newcastle United Media Center. Naturally, the media wasted no time firing the big question at him, the one all fans wanted to know. Has Alexander Isak asked to leave Newcastle United? Now, here's where things get really interesting. Instead of giving a clear yes or no, Howe gave this very carefully worded response. He said, quote, "I spoke to Alexander at the end of last season about his future, but I'm not going to deny that there were conversations. I'm not going to go into the details of what was said." Think about that for a second. He didn't deny it. He didn't squash the rumors. He didn't say, absolutely not, Isak is 100% committed to Newcastle. Instead, he left the door wide open for speculation. And in the world of football, transfers, when a manager chooses his words that carefully, it usually means something is happening behind the scenes. Let's read between the lines here. Howe admitted he had private talks with Isak about his future. That alone tells us there was uncertainty, because if Isak was fully committed, there would be no need for such a conversation. Now Howe then says he won't deny it. That phrase, not going to deny, is crucial. It suggests there was at least some truth to the rumors that Isak was unsettled. And let's not forget, this all comes after Liverpool reportedly put a serious bid on the table. So fans are asking, did Isak hand in a formal transfer request, or did he simply express his doubts about Newcastle's future? The wording is vague, and that's exactly why the football world is buzzing right now. All right, let's talk about Liverpool for a second. Why are they going so hard for Alexander Isak? Well, it's no secret, Liverpool are in transition. Jurgen Klopp's legendary reign is over, and his successor is looking to reshape the attack. Mo Salah is not getting younger. Darwin Núñez has been inconsistent, and Diogo Jota struggles with injuries. Liverpool need a reliable, clinical striker who can lead the line for the next 5 to 6 years. And who fits that description better than Alexander Isak? Last season, Isak scored 25 goals in all competitions for Newcastle. He has pace, he has skill, and he's one of the few strikers in Europe who can drop deep, link play, and still be lethal inside the box. Liverpool see him as the perfect blend of a Firmino-type playmaker and a ruthless finisher like Torres in his prime. And let's not forget, Liverpool have money to spend. After cashing in on players like Fabinho and Henderson in recent windows, they're armed with funds. Isak would be expensive, no doubt, but Liverpool believe he could be worth every penny. But here's where it gets painful for Newcastle fans. The Magpies are at a crossroads. On one hand, they want to keep their star striker, their goal machine, the player who lit up the Champions League nights at St. James's Park. On the other hand, they're under pressure from financial fair play. We've already seen Newcastle forced to sell players like Yankuba Minte and Elliot Anderson this summer just to balance the books. The club can't just keep spending without making sales. So if Liverpool come knocking with a bid of, let's Say 100 million plus, Newcastle's board might find it very hard to say no. For Howe, it's a nightmare scenario. Lose Isak now, and the whole project could stall. Newcastle's ambitions of breaking into the top four again, of competing in Europe, would take a massive hit, and the fans know it. Let's rewind for a second. Alexander Isak joined Newcastle in 2022 for a then-club record fee of $63 million from Real Sociedad. And since then, he's been nothing short of sensational. He scored on his debut against Liverpool at Anfield, showing exactly why the Magpies broke the bank for him. Over the next 2 seasons, he became Newcastle's talisman, a player who can create something out of nothing, who thrives in big games, and who carries himself with that superstar aura. The fans absolutely adore him. The banners, the chants, the love in the stands. Isak has become part of the identity of this new, exciting Newcastle. That's why the idea of him leaving cuts so deep. And of course, the fan base is split right now. Some Newcastle fans say, "No way, Isak is staying, this is just media hype." Others are panicking, saying, "This feels exactly like when we lost Carroll, when we lost Wijnaldum, when we lost our best players to bigger clubs." Liverpool fans, on the other hand, are buzzing. They're already imagining Isak linking up with Diaz and Salah, already picturing him in that iconic red shirt. So let me throw the question to you guys watching. Should Newcastle hold firm, even if Liverpool offer $120 million? Or should they take the money and rebuild the squad? Drop your answers in the comments, because I'll be reading every single one and replying to the best takes. Now let's imagine for a second that Isak stays at Newcastle. What does that mean? Well, it would be a huge statement of intent from the club. It would show they're not going to be bullied in the transfer market, that they're here to compete with the big boys. It would also give the team massive confidence going into the season. Imagine Isak leading the line with Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes, and Miguel Almiron around him. Add in Bruno Guimaraes, pulling the strings in midfield. That's still a team that can challenge anyone. If Isak stays, Newcastle fans can dream again of Europe, maybe even another top 4 finish. But now let's flip it. What happens if he goes? Let's say Liverpool come in with a monster bid, Newcastle accept, and Isak is gone. Who replaces him? That's the biggest problem. Strikers of Isak's quality don't grow on trees. You can't just spend 60 milliliters and find the same level. Newcastle would have to gamble on someone like Ivan Toney, or maybe look abroad for the next big talent, but there are no guarantees. Selling Isak would also send a message to the football world that Newcastle still can't hold on to their best players. And that's dangerous because it might unsettle others like Bruno Guimaraes or Sven Botman. And let's zoom out for a second. This transfer saga isn't just about one player. It's about Newcastle's entire project under Eddie Howe. The club have big ambitions, big owners, and big plans. But if they keep losing their top stars, will they ever truly break into that elite circle of clubs? Liverpool, on the other hand, are proving once again why they're one of the most ruthless clubs in Europe. When they identify a target, they don't stop until they get him. And right now, all roads seem to be pointing toward Alexander Isak. So here we are. Eddie Howe's cryptic comments, Liverpool's relentless pursuit, and Alexander Isak caught in the middle of it all. This saga is far from over, and the next few weeks could define Newcastle's season. Will Isak stay and fight for the Magpies, or will he make the blockbuster switch to Anfield and become Liverpool's new number 9? I want to hear from you. Newcastle fans.